Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Transition to High School workshop. Thank you for joining us this evening. I realize that it's the day before a holiday and spring break for us, so I appreciate you taking the time to come join us. So I'll give you a little bit of information about myself. My name is Nancy Molina. I work for our Family and Community Engagement Office down at the district. Our office is primarily in charge of parent workshops, community outreach, finding resources for our families and students. And we also do all of the volunteer to processing. Towards the end of the workshop, what I'll do is I'll put up all our contact information so that if you have any questions for us specifically that you want to take offline, then feel free to contact us directly. So without further ado, we will start our presentation. And I have the pleasure of introducing Ms. Diaz. She's one of our counselors at John Muir High School.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Nancy, and thank you for inviting me to be a part of tonight's workshop. My name is Alejandra Diaz. I am one of the early college counselors at John Muir High School. I've been with the district for 10 years, and I've actually worked at all of the different high school sites in PUSD, but I've been solely at Muir for about the past 5 years. So I'm really excited to be here. I'm also an adjunct counselor with Pasadena City College, so I wear both hats sometimes. But I'm really excited to be here, and please feel free to ask questions. As a mom of a student who's already graduated high school, I know that the transition from middle school to high school was a really big deal. Middle school, I feel like I need to write a book about middle school because those middle school years were really difficult. But transitioning to high school, it's another ball game, and there's a lot of information. And as a parent, it's very overwhelming. Even as a parent that was in education, I felt really overwhelmed about all the services, the programs, everything that a student can choose to do. So I hope that today I'm able to provide you with a little snippet and hopefully kind of get you thinking about some questions to ask the school that you're going to be attending, and really open the lines of communication with your child. So I'm really excited to be here. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I tend to talk fast, so please let me know if I'm going too fast. Again, it's a lot of information. Nancy, will this be available online for them as well?
Yes, so tomorrow morning, or since tomorrow's a holiday next week, what we'll probably do is Monday or Tuesday, this entire presentation with all the resource links that we will provide will be posted to our Parent University page. And I will, towards the end of the workshop, I'll also throw the link down on there so that you can connect directly to that area.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And I like to always get things going with a little bit of, what do you already know? So let me go ahead and share my screen. I hope I'm going to do this right. Hold on. There we go. Give me 1 second. How do I do this? I think it's going to share. Let me just make it bigger. Are we good? Yes? Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Oh, wait, where did it go? Let me go back. Sorry. So just really quickly, I want to just kind of go over a few things. Just important roles, the parent guardian role, the student and counselor role are really important. I just kind of want to highlight some really key points there. And then we're going to dive right into the high school 101 and then resources. And then I believe Cap will be presenting some information, and so will Penn. So there's a lot of support, and that's one thing that I do want to say in PUSD. There's a lot of support for families and students. And so really, it's all about making those connections and starting early. And you all are doing the great thing right now of being here tonight. So I'm super excited about that. So again, I've already introduced myself, we could skip that. So let's get started with a little game. This is just to kind of just test what you know. We're going to play Kahoot It. So if you can go to online or on your phone, go to Kahoot It and enter that game pin. This was the closest, what is this, like school background that I could find, but it was like Christmas school. So go ahead and go to Kahoot It. Go ahead and enter that game pen and type in your name, your nickname, whatever you want it to be. In high school, we say make sure it's something appropriate. So go ahead and go to Kahoot It. You can do it either on the Kahoot app or go on the website Kahoot It, and it'll ask you for a game pen. So once you're in, your name will pop up. And the music is a little funny. Can you all hear the music? Oh, okay, that's good. I can. All right. Do we have a few more players? The emojis are new. Those little before it used to just be names, so this is exciting.
I know. I was able to change mine and add an accessory.
Oh, how fun. That must be a new feature. I love how they're all Christmas themed. So I guess it goes with the background. And again, I apologize. I tried picking something school related, and this was the closest one. How are we doing with participants? Are we pretty good? Is everyone in? Are we waiting for anyone? I see six people are on the Kahoot It. Okay, we have 7. 8. Thumbs up if you guys know how to use the thumbs up so that we can know if we're ready to roll. Yeah, we're good. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So the way this works is you have to click on the shape and color. So it'll be a question. I think you have about 20 seconds to answer. It's okay if you don't get the answer right. You're not going to get a grade for this. It's okay. Hopefully by the end of tonight, you'll be able to answer all the questions correctly. So, okay, let's go ahead and get started. All right, here we go. How many credits are needed for graduation? So if you think it's 220, you would do the red triangle. If you think it's 200, you would do the blue diamond. Okay, whoa, look at that. It's like split. So the answer is 220 credits. And again, we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go along tonight. Okay, let's see who's on the top. Susan, I think you have like a unfair advantage. Okay, next, let's get ready. Can you graduate with D grades? Oh, you guys answered that one really quick. I think we had 7 players, right? So we're ready. A little countdown. Yes. So yes, you can graduate with D grades, but we're going to talk about why that's not a good thing. All right, let's see. Okay, Amy B, you're coming up. You're coming up. Susan, you have competition. All right, let's go. Can you have a D in an A through G course to meet college entrance eligibility? Oh, look at that. Okay, so we have some A through G experts in the house. All right, good stuff. Oh, Glow is coming up. All right. How many hours of community service / work-based learning are needed for graduation? So you need 40 hours. Your child needs 40 hours, not the parents. The child needs 40 hours of community service or work-based learning. And we'll talk about what those are and what are some activities that students can get involved in to get those hours complete. So good job. Let's see how we're doing. Oh, glow is coming up. All right. True or false? Both high school and college transcripts are permanent records. True. Yes. Good stuff. Okay. So yes, it's something that you can't ever change or take back, no matter how old you are. Susan, there you go. You're on fire. Look at that little fire emoji next to your name. Another true or false. You must pass your senior defense and physical fitness test to graduate. We have one more question after this. The answer is true. Yes, true, true, true. Oh, so sometimes it's not about just getting the right answer. It's also how quick you are. And I didn't know that. Like the first couple times I would play Kahoot it, and I was like, oh, I knew all the right answers. How come I'm not on top? It's also how fast you are. So Glow, you're not only fast, you know all the right answers. What is dual enrollment? Ooh, taking classes in college and high school at the same time. I'm not sure, and that's okay. College class my parents make me take, or only college classes. Good job. So yes, taking classes in college and high school at the same time. Let's see who our big winner is. The podium of winners. In third place, I love that little hat. Who is it? I can't see. Who's third place? Oh, look at Glow. I have a weird bar on there. That's all right. So that's just kind of a fun little way to kind of just see where we are and, you know, get to know one another, even though we're in the virtual space. It's just kind of fun to get the juices flowing. And so I just want to kind of go over some important roles. The student has a lot of different things that they're going to be doing. They're going to be responsible for classwork. They're going to be homework, going to class, getting involved in different activities. But I really want to talk about the parent role and the school counselor role. As a parent, it's really important to have open lines of communication with your child. It's a big transition for them, and sometimes they don't want to have conversations, but it's important to be curious and ask questions. One of the things that I found really worked for me is instead of like, how was your day? Right? That's kind of that. How was your day? They're going to say, oh, it was good. I don't know. What did you learn? I don't remember. It's like, did anything interesting happen at school today? Or did anything interesting happen? Or just kind of phrasing it a little bit differently actually opens up different conversations for them to have. This is an exploratory time for students. So there's a lot of things that they're experiencing that they've never experienced. And so I think for me, one big thing as a parent for me was to provide a safe space for them to be, and also to have open lines of communication. So always supporting and encouraging them, and knowing that things are changing, right? They're evolving, they're changing, things are changing, the education system's changing. And so really kind of coming in with some curiosity, I think really will help to dive into those different and difficult conversations. And I know that our family engagement center is really looking for ways to have those workshops on difficult conversations, because sometimes we as parents are uncomfortable with asking certain things. But we want to be that safe space for them. One big thing about coming into high school that's not the same as middle school is they're not going to get socially promoted. So in high school, they have to pass their classes. And one way that you can support the student is by checking parent portal for attendance, for making sure that your contact information is correct. I cannot tell you how many times I call a parent or I'll email a parent and we get a bounce back or it's the wrong number. So even in emergency situations, we want to be able to get a hold of you. So making sure you're checking parent portal to check that your information is correct, and also that you're checking on grades and attendance. That's really, really important. Reach out for support. We're here to help you. Teachers, counselors, administrators, community members. We're here to be of service and help you navigate this transition time, and really just anything that comes up that you're unsure of. I think one thing that we do as parents is we want to have all the answers, and it's okay not to know the answer. That can feel a little uncomfortable too, but it's okay to reach out for support. We are here to help you. And then another really important thing is to make sure you make an appointment with your student's counselor. So at Mira, counselors try to meet with each student at least once a semester. They try to do it twice, and I can't speak for other high schools, but I do know that they do meet with their students, whether it's in like auditorium style or small group settings. They do meet with all of their students. But it's okay for you to reach out too. It's okay for you to send an email. It's okay for you to introduce yourself, get to know them. They're going to be with your student for 4 years. And so that's a relationship that you really want to form right away, actually. Is someone following the chat? Okay. As a school counselor, so a lot of times I ask students to describe, what do you think a school counselor does? And they're like, oh, you just do my schedule and you just make sure I graduate. It's a lot more to that. So we support and help students in multiple ways. It could be social support. It could be emotional support. It is that college and career guidance for sure. Sometimes students may be having a difficult time in class or with another peer. We're there to be there as a mediator as well, to have those conversations with teachers or students that they may be having difficulty with. We're also there to be a resource for them, to provide program information, to get them connected to programs that they're that fit maybe their personality or fit their areas of interest. And of course, we are also there for those academic concerns. So one thing that we do as a district is we, if a student is not doing well, we do send what we call DFI letters home. And sometimes they're letters, sometimes they're emails. But that's just to let you know, hey, your student is not doing so well in this class. What could we still do at this point to help and support the student? Okay. And we do a lot of other stuff. We attend their games, we help and support them, scholarships. There's just so much. I mean, but we're really there as a resource and as a first contact for pretty much anything that your child needs. So we're going to kind of go over all of the requirements in PUSD. We're going to talk about what are the coursework that they need to prepare for college admission and different ways to help navigate high school. And last but not least, all the resources that are available to you in PUSD. So all of you, some of you, half of you got this right and the other half didn't, but you need 220 credits to graduate from high school, 40 hours of community service / work-based learning, and then they also need to pass their senior defense. And I'm going to go over them in more detail in each of the slides, but this is just a quick snapshot. So 220 credits, 40 hours, pass senior defense, and their physical fitness. I forgot to put that on there, but that's okay. So one great thing about PUSD is that they really aligned college entrance requirements to the high school graduation requirements. So for the most part, you will see there is a lot of alignment. It's the same requirement, both for high school credits and A through G. So what A through G means, it's basically what the CSUs, the California State Universities and the University of California have indicated as coursework that they want students to take in high school in order to be eligible to apply for those colleges. So you'll hear that term kind of thrown around, A through G, A through G, A through G. And again, those are just those requirements they need to take in high school. So those 220 credits are these very specific courses here. So they're going to need 3 years of history and social science. They usually start history in sophomore year with world history. Junior year, they'll take US history. And then senior year, they'll take government and econ. They must pass government and econ to get that high school diploma. Okay. They need 4 years of English, so they take English every year. 3 years of math, the minimum is math 2. So the 3 years of math, if a student comes in taking math 2, math 3, even though it's considered a validation, for the graduation requirements, they need to have 3 years of math. So they have to go above that math. 3 years of science, and we're a physics first district. So they'll start with physics and then they'll go into bio and chemistry, or then chemistry and bio. It kind of just depends on their high school, but they're a physics first. So every freshman will have physics their first year. And then 1 year of a world language. So every high school is different on what world languages they offer. For the most part, every high school offers Spanish, but there are also other high schools that offer the Armenian, I think it's Armenian DLib at Blair, Mandarin at PHS. And Marshall used to offer Mandarin, but I'm not sure if they're doing that anymore, but you'll have to check in with the counselor about that. 1 year of visual and performing art. This could be studio art, this could be graphic art, this could be ceramics, this could be dance if it's approved under visual performing art. Every school has their list of courses that will fit that visual and performing art. 2 years of PE, so it's 20 credits. If a student is in a sport in the 10th grade and on, that they would have to play a sport for at least 2 seasons to get 1 year. But typically every freshman, every student, 9th grade student coming in will take PE, and that's where they'll take their physical fitness exam. So in the physical fitness, that's a state requirement. They do have to pass that in order for us to mark them as graduated. And then 50 elective credits. And again, this can come from, even if they did a 4th year of math, that additional credit would go into electives. Also, there's just different things, ceramics. I know that Marshall has like stage tech. There's different academies at the different high schools, and I'll go over those in a little while, but students have a lot of options to pick from for those elective credits. So looking at the A through G requirements, they're very similar. It's 2 years of history, the 4 years of English, the 3 years of math. However, if they're thinking of going into a science, technology, engineering, or math major, they do want to have that 4th year of math. For lab science, it's 2 years of laboratory science. 3 years is recommended, again, for science majors. So this is where it's a little bit different. The colleges want to see at least 2 years of a world language. So taking 1 year is okay for high school graduation, but if they wanted to be eligible for college entrance, they would need to take at least 2 years. They need to do 1 year of visual and performing art, and then 1 year of a college prep elective. So that could be anything above and beyond here. And on the resources, I don't know if I put this, but I will, maybe we could put the link in there. There's a UC list that will tell you what those college prep electives are for each school, because each school has a different list. Okay. And Nancy, I'm doing questions at the end, right? Okay, okay. Okay, so grades are so important. So earlier I was saying how in middle school students get promoted, you know, they go on to each grade level, even if they're not passing. Once they get to high school, it's not the same. So students must pass the courses in order to get the credit in order to graduate high school. For the high school diploma, if they get a D, that is passing, they will get their credits for their high school diploma. A D is not recommended though, because once they start having too many Ds, they're starting to close different opportunities for them. So we want students to have choice in what they do after high school. And so we really don't encourage the Ds. We want them to have Cs or better. For college eligibility, The minimum is a grade of C. But again, we don't want them to just do the minimum. We want them to go above and beyond because it could get a little crazy and overwhelming and competitive when it comes to applying for colleges. So a D will give them the diploma. However, we always encourage them to do better and have C's or above. So another thing that is very unique, well, not unique, but our district is doing a really good job of is offering additional opportunities for students to go above and beyond high school level coursework. So PUSD is fully dual enrollment. What that means is that students can take college classes through our partnership with Pasadena City College, and they'll get dual credit. They'll get high school credit and college credit. Now, dual enrollment looks very different at every high school, and we'll talk a little bit about that. So what is dual enrollment? Again, they can get both high school and college credit. This is transferable college credit to a CSU and a UC, and any other college that PCC has an articulation agreement with. What that means is that basically PCC spoke to these colleges and said, if our students take these courses, will they transfer to your school? And so that's where that articulation agreement comes in. The dual enrollment classes are taken at the high school campus, and this can be during the day or after school. So at John Muir, it's exclusively during the day. The other high schools, PHS, Marshall, and Blair do offer dual enrollment, and they're usually after school. The other great thing about dual enrollment is there's no fees for courses or books. That's something that the district takes on as far as the book costs, and then the fees, that's something that the state of California does for high school students. So in California, dual enrollment is free. Now there's the concurrent enrollment option, which means also transferable college credit, but this is usually taken after the student's scheduled day. So after 3:40, maybe they go to the PCC main campus, maybe they go to the campus on the Muir site, maybe they go to the campus off of Foothill, but the student is taking it after the high school day. And there's also online options as well, but this is above and beyond. And then for concurrent enrollment, there is no cost for tuition, but the student is responsible for the books. So this is where it's a little bit different, where dual enrollment, the district will pay for the books, but for concurrent enrollment, the student is kind of on their own and is responsible for paying. Another big difference between dual and concurrent is dual enrollment is with their peers. They don't leave their high school campus. They're at their high school campus with their own peers, versus concurrent enrollment, it could be with anybody that's taking a class through PCC. So those are kind of a couple of differences. And then every school offers advanced placement. So advanced placement is curriculum that has been approved by the college board to be taught by a high school teacher. And they take the course year long in preparation for the advanced placement exam. The college credit depends on passing the exam with a 3, 4, or 5, and it's based on the college that the student would like to transfer that credit to. So it's not always black and white, because every school might have a different AP policy. So it's really important that when you meet with your child's counselor, you're having these conversations and really understanding where they want to go, what kind of credit they're going to get for that AP exam. And it's not just taking the class, it's they have to pass the exam. The class is part of the student's schedule. It's one of their class periods. So they don't have to do anything. Well, they may have to do stuff after school, maybe for like a project, but they don't have to do anything after their high school day. It's a course taught by one of their high school teachers that was trained and approved by the college board. And then there is cost to the AP exams. It's $97 per exam. Some students take more than one AP, so unless the student qualifies for a reduced cost or a fee waiver, it could get a little pricey. So again, we want to encourage students to take college coursework if it's something that they're interested in. They don't have to, but if they want to, there's a lot of options for them to get that college credit. How's my flow? Are we good? Am I okay? I just want to make sure that I'm not going too fast because again, I could go a little fast.
I think, does anyone have any questions up until this point? Maybe we'll take some questions in
Okay,
case.
yeah,
That way
that'd be great.
we don't.
I would
I
love
think
questions.
Kevin had a question on the chat. It said, how does DLIP in K through 8 affect the language requirement?
Great question. Okay, so, and you're talking about are you asking for high school or are you asking for college entrance?
Specifically, my son won't be attending a DLIP school in high school. He's going to PHS and won't be continuing the DLIP. But I'm wondering if there's any effect that the graduation requirement of 3 years or 2 years of world language has already been satisfied by being in K through 8 DLIP.
So they don't get the high school credit for it. However, if they were to continue, they would have something that we call validation for college entrance. So if the student is not continuing the DLIP, they will have to take a language at the high school level. Because what is it, like level 3 that they take, right? At the middle school? Is that correct? For DLIP? Kevin, are they in level 3?
I don't know what level it would be considered. No, I don't know.
Yeah, I want to say it's either level 2 or level 3, because I know when students come from a Spanish DLIP program to mirror, they'll take AP Spanish. So that AP Spanish will validate the full 4 years for college entrance, and then they have the year for the high school side.
Okay, so he would then enroll in AP Spanish at some point, probably his freshman year, I guess.
He would start his freshman year with AP Spanish. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Great question. Any other questions that I can answer of anything that I kind of went over in the earlier slides? I know it's a lot of info. Okay, so should I move on? Yeah. Okay, so now more requirements, right? So you're like, oh my God, this is a lot. I understand it is. So students are required to have 40 hours of community service or work-based learning. If a student did 10 every year, it's usually a little more manageable. I have seen some seniors wait till the very end. If your child is part of a college and career pathway academy, they should have no problem getting the 40 hours of community service. It's usually students who are not a part of the academy who have more of a difficult time. But it must be if they're doing community service, it must be nonprofit. And I've given some examples there, but any nonprofit organization would count for community service hours. And community service hours can also count for their medallion. So if they're in a college and career pathway, they need 200 hours of a mix of community service and work-based learning to receive like a really nice medal for graduation. And then the community service hours are logged after completion of each service. So for example, if a student over the summer did maybe was like I don't know, went to feed the homeless or at a shelter or something like that, they would submit those hours. That way they don't wait to the last minute to get them put into the system to showcase that they have completed those hours. Sometimes students wait to the last minute, and then it's having to input all those hours can become a little difficult. So we want to make sure that as students complete their hours, they submit the hours for approval. Every school does it a little differently, but in Aries, they're able to actually enter the information through their student portal. And then there's someone at each school site that is in charge of approving those hours. And I'll get into that later if you guys have more questions about that, but you'll get more information from your high school specifically about community service. Work-based learning is expanded in the classroom. So it's learning through the classroom. So it could be career awareness, exploration, career preparation, career training. It could be a field trip that they take specific to like, I don't know, our students go to like America's Got Talent, because if they're in the Arts Academy, they want to see kind of the background workings of America's Got Talent. So those are all considered like a job shadow, like some sort of training. They get to see it like live action. So yeah, I mean, that's called work-based learning. The other thing is sometimes they have guest speakers. People from the industry maybe come and speak to the students about what it was like to get to where that person is in their path. And so those hours would count. For the most part, the work-based learning, if it happens within the classroom, it's something that the teacher will submit for the student. But again, we want to make sure that the student knows these hours count and that they're kind of following up on that, because, you know, sometimes things don't get turned in time, and the student's like, wait, I did these hours and this person came to our class to speak about, you know, what is a day in the life of a school counselor. I don't know, I'm just giving an example. But, you know, so they have 40 hours that they have to do total for graduation. So it's total, it doesn't have to be 40 community and 40, no, it's 40 total. So it could be a mix of both community service and work-based learning. So the senior defense / portfolio is basically we have a graduate profile where we say students will have the 4 C's: critical thinking, creativity, communication, and collaboration. And really the senior defense is the culmination of their learning in the 4 years. So the student, again, depending on the school, some schools do a capstone project where they start a project in the fall and then they present on it in the spring. Or some students just do a culmination of their 4 years of high school, and they pick the work that's most reflective of their learning. So this doesn't mean that the student has to pick their best work, but maybe there was an assignment that the student didn't do so good on, but they were able to learn from it and build a better work of art or a better reflection or a better research paper by the time they were a senior. So really it's them presenting their journey in high school and what their plans are after high school. So every school has a senior defense coordinator, and that senior defense coordinator basically oversees that every senior is good to go. There's also a reflection paper that they write, just again, reflecting on their 4 years of high school and their learning. They get a lot of support in this, though. It's not like, here you go, you have to do a senior defense. No, there's a lot of support for students when they're preparing for their senior defense. And I think PHS was doing some this past week. I know when we come back from spring break, Mir will be doing some as well. But these are really fun. So we always ask for volunteers. So if any parents want to sit on senior defense panels, please sign up, because we always need people to be on the panels. And it's really interesting to hear their stories. Okay, so ways to help your child navigate high school. One big thing is making sure that you guys sit and review the calendar together. It's so important to know important dates, especially around this time, right? A lot of families want to go on vacation, they want to go on college tours, and you know, we want to make sure that they're in school, but also taking advantage of these opportunities. So have a calendar, whether it's on your phone, like a family shared calendar that you have on your phone, or at home if you have a bulletin, or even if it's just a quick whiteboard to remind of the important dates of the week, just so that you guys are all on the same page about what is happening at school. Make sure to write down open house, back to school night, the college fair. If they're in sports, right? You need to know their sports calendar. That's really important. And also maybe any extracurricular activities that your child's involved in. That way you guys are all on the same page together. Please make sure that your child is meeting with their school counselor. You know, our ratio in PUSD is 400 to 1. And so sometimes students don't always go to their appointments at their appointment time. Please make sure to help and support your child to follow up, because those meetings are really important. The counselors are going through their plan for the next 4 years and then the plan what they have after high school. So it's really important that that you all meet with the school counselor, and also making sure that the student is choosing the most appropriate classes for their goals and what they want to do. And then also to help explore with career options. So very important. One thing is really good is to help them set goals for the school year. So I actually like to break it down by semester, because first semester of freshman year can be very overwhelming because they're in either 6 classes or 7 classes or 4 classes, depending on which high school you're at. But it's really important to focus on what is the goal for that semester. And looking back and kind of reflecting on how did it go last semester? And what are some things you could do differently? And just really having those lines of communication open are super, super important. Check parent portal. Make sure you check parent portal regularly. Ask about schoolwork. Understanding parent portal and how the grades break down is super important. Some homework assignments might be like 20%, some might be 10%, but understanding that information, again, if you're having a hard time, contact the school counselor. I love breaking down grade books with parents. I think it's one of, like, I don't know why I'm kind of weird like that, but it's just to show them, like, this is kind of the agreement that you have with your teacher. These are the things you have to do in order to get a passing grade. And then, kind of seeing where they need support. The good thing is that every school does have tutoring services, and we have a district-wide tutoring platform. So anytime students need additional academic support, let's try to get them connected right away. Let's not wait till the last minute, because that's even more overwhelming for the student. So really checking parent portal, looking at homework assignments being submitted, and really celebrating their successes, even when they're not doing well. Like, if you notice that your child isn't doing well, but maybe they went up a little percent, like, it's so good to celebrate those successes, because sometimes students feel like, oh, there's no hope. Why am I going to try to pass this class? And if they lose hope and they're not being encouraged, they're just going to give up. And so we really want to avoid that. We want them to stay motivated throughout the semester and really, really do well. So yeah, if you notice they're having difficulty, please contact the counselor right away to develop an action plan. Sometimes there's weekly check-ins, sometimes there's sign-offs that the teachers could do, emails, things of that nature. So that's really important. Talk about extracurricular activities. Every school has an abundance of clubs and organizations and things that students can get involved in. It is so important for students to feel successful. They really need to feel connected first. So making sure that they're connected either through a student group or a volunteer service or something, that's really going to help them in high school and just, feel good about themselves. So really talking about and involving them in extracurricular activities is important. Now, I do want to say, we all want our children to be the perfect children, right? And we want them to be involved in anything and everything. Sorry, not anything, everything. And I don't want anybody to be like, oh, Ms. Diaz said you have to be involved. And no, let's have a balance too, right? So if they're doing a sport in the fall and a sport in the spring, that's great. There's some kids that are really athletic and they do it year round, and that's fantastic. But really make sure that they're creating a balance, that they're also being kids, that they're also enjoying their adolescence, that they're hanging out with their friends, and they're, experiencing volunteering, and they're experiencing a sport, and they're experiencing different clubs, but making sure that they create a balance for themselves, because sometimes high school students want to do it all and we want to push them to do it all, but we really have to make sure that they're okay. And so checking in and making sure that we're not overwhelming them even with more things, is really, really important. Let's see what else. Yeah, so just getting involved is good, but again, a balance. I'm big on balance. Parents, please get involved. We have a lot of wonderful resources for parents. The PTSA, ELAC, School Site Council, African American Parent Counselor. There's different boosters, right? There's sports boosters. There's the band booster. We have PEN, our Pasadena Education Network, who help and support our parents immensely. They are always looking for ways to, connect parents and and provide support. Pasadena Educational Foundation, you know, they have all of these offerings. If you've seen that summer offering, oh my God, amazing. And our family engagement center, you know, they're the ones that are putting all this together. So we want to be here to help and support. And College Access Plan, we love CAP. I heart CAP. They're one of our big partners in PUSD to help and support us counselors with college information, and really we don't do this work alone. We do it in collaboration with our community partners and our education partners, because the role of a counselor is a tough one. We do a lot of different things, and so anywhere we could collaborate with our community partners, you know, we're so happy to do so. For students, again, joining a sport or a club, get involved in the community, for students to get to know their teachers and counselors, because if college is what they're looking at after high school, letters of recommendation are really important. And so we want to make sure that they know their counselor and their teachers know who they are and what makes them unique, what makes them stand out. Join a college prep program. Again, if college is on the plan of after high school, definitely get involved. There's so many programs at each high school that helps to support students. Internship opportunities, jobs, right? Sometimes summer jobs are some of the best and experiences that students have. And then also let students know, let your child know that if there's something that they're interested in that their school doesn't have, they can start their own club, they can start their own organization to get students like themselves to do something different that's not being offered. That's always the goal. That's always a good thing to do. So get involved, open lines of communication, get to know your counselor. What else? All of the good stuff. I think it's not letting me go over. I don't think it's letting me go into the next slide, Nancy. And it's my own presentation. Hold on, let me stop really quick. Let me figure some technical stuff. I'm happy to hear any questions while I'm trying to figure this out. There it goes. I figured it out, but I'm happy to take any questions. Nancy, are we doing questions now or after?
Whenever anyone has a question, feel free to unmute and ask. I know I usually forget, so.
Questions, comments, concerns.
I guess not yet.
Oh my God, you guys are all pros now. Do the Kahoot, you're all gonna get 100%. Just kidding. Okay, so then I'll move into the next slide. I don't know why it wasn't letting me go to the next one, but I will go back. And let me just. Wow, thank you all so much for being here. Again, if you have any questions, I think Nancy's going to put all of our contact information in the last chat or link, or I don't know, but it'll be available. But it was so nice to see so many people join us on the pre-spring break day night. Okay, let me share again. Okay, I think CAP is up.
Ms. Diaz, you had high schools at a glance.
Where did that go?
Could we do that slide?
Oh,
There
I'm
we
so
go. I
sorry.
think parents would probably like to see that one.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Resources. Why wasn't it letting me go? That's so weird. So these are just some resources for you out there. School counselors, family engagement office. PUSD hired A through G counselors, so that's really exciting. College prep programs. Every high school also has a college and career advisor to help them navigate the college and career planning process. PUSD mental health services. So, I mean, with COVID, a lot of things have come up. And so we want to make sure that our students are feeling supported in all avenues of their life. The community assistant is usually kind of your first first go person when when you walk into a school, the person that's greeting you, it's usually the community assistant, and then the office of enrollment, so that you know your options and what the process is for enrollment and registration. Oh my God, it's doing it again. There it is. Okay, so high schools at a glance. So John Muir High School Early College Magnet, that's where I'm housed. We're home of the Mighty Mustangs. Some of our special programs is our Early College Magnet that's in partnership with PCC, and those are the college courses that they take during the day. We also have 3 college and career academies. We have the Arts, Entertainment, and Media Academy, the Business and Entrepreneurship, and the Engineering and Environmental Science Academy. At Blair, they have the IB program, they have the Health Academy, and then they have the Armenian Dual Language program. At Marshall, they have the Academy of Creative Industries, and then they have AP Capstone. They're the only high school that has the AP Capstone. Marshall has a longer list of AP course offerings than any of the other high schools do, but they have that Capstone course as well. PHS, they have, it's actually like 5 different things, but the App Academy, so it's the Computer Application Academy, Creative Arts, Media and Design, it's split in 2. One's more like a graphic design, one's more of like a fine art program, but it's all under CAMAD. And then Law and Public Service Academy, which is really cool because if your child's going to PHS and they're going to be in LPS, they actually have a real courtroom in there. Like, it's super cool. They have, I think before COVID, they had teen court there. And so students were able to like sit in and like watch real trials happen, like at their high school with a real judge. Super cool. And then they have the Mandarin dual language program. And each high school actually has really amazing facilities. They have upgraded so many different areas of the high schools. Blair's all brand new. So like you walk in, it's like a brand new campus. It's gorgeous. It's open. It's nice. But you know, with their Health Academy, they do some really fun and neat stuff in that academy. The Academy of Creative Industries, they're diving deep into that stage tech and what is it called? Like stage makeup. I know that one of the classes that they took as a dual enrollment class was the makeup for stage. That's super cool. So, and then at Muir, I mean, I can go on and on and on about Muir, but we have amazing facilities too. We have a state-of-the-art studio facility where we do TV and video production. We have our very own student-run credit union, Pasadena Service. What is it? Pasadena Federal Service Credit Union. And then our Engineering and Environmental Science Academy, they work really closely with NASA and JPL. So every academy, well, I mean, every school that has an academy, which they all do, the big thing is they have an advisory board. That advisory board is made up of professionals in the industry that help and support, make students the connections to what those industries look like. What is the day-to-day life of a certain person's career and that kind of thing. So you cannot go wrong in PUSD. You cannot. There's a lot of support and a lot of amazing programs. If you haven't decided, I hope you have decided what school your child will be attending. But if you haven't, I would say try to get on a tour ASAP. Contact information, you can even go to pusd.us and select the high school from there. Or you can contact the school directly. And I would say tour if you haven't made your decision, tour. But again, we're all here to help and support. I used to work at the district and I used to help and support all of our counselors. And so, you know, I still kind of wear a little bit of that hat to make sure that we're all kind of, you know, doing what we need to do to get our students through. But I'm just happy to be here again. And, you know, any school you pick in PUSD is going to be great. So.
We have a question in the
yay.
chat. So it says, when and how do students enroll in their courses for freshman year? Is there a chance to meet with a counselor before during summer?
So we leave June 14th is our last day. When we come back from spring break, I believe starting April 11th, the counselors will be visiting the middle schools. And at that time, they will be making the course selection with the student. So I would say contact your middle school counselor when we come back from spring break, because they'll start on April 11th. And every high school has different days that they're going to the middle schools to talk to the students about the course selection for the upcoming school year. But make an appointment. I would say contact a counselor at your the high school that you're going to go to. And if you want to get a meeting, again, they're going to be gone for the month of April to the middle schools, but try to get in there as soon as possible. I can say for Mir specifically, we sent out a Google form to our incoming families that the student and parent can help to select what courses they're interested in for the upcoming school year. And for us, we're a wall-to-wall academy school. So every student is in one of our 3 academies. So they would have to also select that academy in that course selection Google form. So, but the counselors are visiting the middle schools when we come back starting April 11th. I hope that answered that question. Any other questions that I can answer? Before we move on. Okay, hopefully my thing works again because it was being weird. Oh, yay, Cap. Yay, Cap. Who's here from Cap?
Yay.
Is it
So
Wendy?
Cap, it'll be, oh, we have a question that popped up.
Oh,
My son goes to Blair and he already met with his counselor to choose classes for freshman year. Or it was more of a comment. So
Oh,
Blair,
wonderful.
I guess Blair, yeah. they've
yeah.
already done
So
it.
so
for
at Blair and Marshall, it's a little bit different because they're 6 through 12. So if students are continuing in this school, I'm sure they've already met with their counselor. Mostly for anybody who's like transitioning out of their middle school into a high school. But Marshall and Blair probably, yeah, they probably already did that. They're like, we want to do it before spring break. So, but you can always contact them when we come back if you have any questions.
Awesome. Okay, so Cap, it was not able to join us today. So I am going to present their slides and I will not do them justice. I can reassure you that, but I will absolutely try my best. So CAP stands for College Access Plan, and they offer free college readiness support to all families and students in our high schools and middle schools. And the amazing thing is that it's absolutely free for all of our students, and there are no requirements to attend. Other way. There we go. So this is one of the high school overview, because CAP does work a little bit differently at our middle schools versus our high schools. So for high school, they offer free year-round college readiness support through a program that they call their drop-in program at all of our PUSD high schools. And so the way that works is during the fall time, they select a couple of schools where they will go to, and during the springtime, it'll be the other schools. And so, for example, here they show you the flyer where it's Monday and Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, and that's the time frame where students can just drop in. They don't need to stay for the entire time. They don't need to go on a weekly or consistent basis if at any given point they feel like they need help or they would like some guidance. CAP is available to meet with them through this drop-in program that they offer. Let's see here. So college, some of the things that they help with is college essay workshops for seniors. And in the fall, it is a 5-week program. And then College 101 for juniors in the spring. And that's a 6-week program. So they can start, I mean, for the drop-in, they don't need to be a senior in order to drop in. It could be at any grade level within high school. But these are specific for seniors and juniors in high school. Once again, so these are the the drop-in times, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna correct myself. They offer drop-in programs in fall and in spring at all of our schools. It's not they don't necessarily choose a portion during fall and a portion during spring. It's for both. So here during this time now, Monday and Wednesdays they're at Blair, PHS, and Tuesdays, Thursdays they're at Mir and Marshall. And you can get more information at collegeaccessplan.org/drop-in. This just kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of what CAP does. For middle school, they do offer daytime and after school college prep. There are topic specific workshops that they do offer, and then they have a college and career exploration program. And then in high school, they do the drop-in, the after school drop-in program. They assist with financial aid and college application support. And then enrolled courses. So those are the courses that I spoke about, where for seniors, they help with the college essay workshop. And then for juniors, it's college 101. And then they do have a piece of family engagement within CAP. And then college success is an invitation only for high school CAP students. So if it's students that are regularly attending workshops with CAP, that they could be invited to attend this college success program that they have. It's a one-on-one through college support, and they have access to partner scholarships, and they offer workshops, socials, and peer-to-peer engagement. Sorry, my son's right next to me. This is how you can get in contact with CAP: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and their website. I'll reiterate what I will do on Monday or Tuesday of next week is we will upload all of this entire presentation, the recordings, plus the presentation in PDF format so that families can access the information. So don't feel like you need to rush and try to write all the information that I'm providing down. This is a workshop that is coming up for them. So it is understanding financial aid offers. Of course, in high school during this time, that's when a lot of students are trying to go through that financial aid process and understanding what all of it means. And so on April 13th, they have this workshop available in English, and there is a registration link here and the QR code. And then on April 20th, they have the same workshop, but it's solemnly in Spanish. So it's just dedicated in Spanish. And then once again, there is a QR code and a link so that you may register if you're interested. These are our lovely ladies that assist us. And for those that might do some of the programs with CAP in our middle school, you might be familiar with their faces. So we have Natasha, Wendy, who's the program coordinator. Natasha, she's our manager. Then for our high school program, we have our coordinator at Blair, Muir, and Rose City, which is Natalie. And then Cynthia is the coordinator at CIS, Marshall, and PHS. And now I will turn it over to Susan from Penn, and I'll let her introduce her wonderful organization.
Hi, everybody. So thanks for having me here. I am the program director for a group called Pasadena Education Network. We're a small, in terms of staffing, we're a small independent nonprofit. We're 3 part-time staff people and a website. But in terms of our network, we're about 2,000 plus families who either have kids in the schools, all schools across PUSD, K through 12, or in some cases are families who are just considering their options for schools, either kinder, middle or high school. So because we have a lot of people who are already in the schools, we also do a lot of information, not just about exploring your options for schools, but also just how to engage effectively with your schools and with the district. We did a couple of programs just recently that were geared more towards either incoming high school students or or their families, their parents, and also for parents and students who are closer to thinking about their college options. And so I have a couple of programs that we did recently described here on the slide. I will put a link in the chat right now, because in addition to having materials on the family and community engagement webpage on PUSD, we always post the slides and video recordings and any other, kind of handouts that we have from our programs can be found on our website at the URL I just put in the chat. So, for example, I think in particular for families who are just coming into college, we did a program about a month ago that was sort of a little bit covered some of the same things that Nancy just covered a little while ago about sort of how you help your student navigate the high school years, but with the focus on ensuring that they have that college option. So, the difference between graduating with D's and having your A through G requirements covered with a C or better. So you have that option of going to a four-year college or university. We also just did a program very recently, which was sort of about, thinking beyond the choices that some people kind of are most familiar with for colleges and really thinking about what is a good fit for your student. And so that's both of those programs. You can find all the materials. I don't know that I'm not sure if all the materials are posted yet for Right Fit College, but the same link we're on our website will be where you can find all the materials from any programs we've done in the past. So yeah, I think, for us, what we try to do is just sort of share that parent perspective on what the experience is in high school, for whether you're looking for a school or just want to sort of maybe find some parents who are already there at the school that your child is going to be attending. Our parent ambassador page on our website is the place to find contacts with parents who already have kids at the school that your child is going to be at. And those are just parents who are willing to share their perspectives, help you connect with, with the campus that you're going to be part of. And yeah, so I think that was mainly what I had to say. We do have another program coming up, which is in some ways a little bit more geared towards newer and younger parents, but it really is for any PUSD parent, and it is really about kind of helping families reconnect with their school community, particularly after the pandemic when a lot of people were not able to be on campus. And I have to say that in terms of participating, I think with secondary, middle, and high school, parents tend to pull away a little bit. There's a perception that your kids don't want you around, and they probably don't want you, like hovering over them in their classes. But that doesn't mean that there isn't a real role for parents to play with the school, whether it's through the PTSA or any of the other parent organizations, AAPC and so on. Or as a part of a booster group that's supporting a sports team or the arts or anything else that's going on campus. So I think one of our messages is just to not assume that you can just kind of like step back and not be participating. And at the very least, I think what Nancy said about sort of checking in with your kid about how was your, not saying how was your day, but kind of like, what was the best thing that happened to you today? What was the worst thing that happened to you today? What was, did anything interesting happen at school today? Just being available for those conversations, and then her other message about being on Parent Portal and really kind of staying on top of things, because there's a lot going on in high school, and it's a lot for anybody to keep track of, let alone an adolescent, a young teenager. So just that sort of scaffolding that we can provide by kind of keeping tabs on how things are going, making sure that things are on track, helping your student sort of advocate for him or herself, by making that appointment with a counselor, but also sort of being there to back things up and check in. And yeah, so I'm gonna maybe just drop the link in the chat in a second once I grab it for our program coming up in April, and that's about all I have to share. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. All right, so we are at the final last two slides. I have a resource page and links. Since I am not presenting, what I will do is I will put the links on our chat so that you have access to that now in case you wanted to just, in case you just wanted to click on it. But like I said, I will also be posting it. So the first one is our Family and Community Engagement Office. The second one is Parent University, and that is actually the location of where you will be able to find all recordings and presentations of any workshops that we offer. Let me go ahead and drop the link in here. So that is for our Parent University. This school year, what we've also done in our department is we've created what we call like a community calendar. And so if schools send us their flyers on events that are happening, if we have workshops or we have community partners such as Penn, CAP that are having additional workshops, we include that information on our community calendar. And we actually, on that calendar, you can click directly to the link to the flyer or to the page. So I want to make sure that you guys have access to that because I felt like that one was super important. I know that there's just so many calendars everywhere, and sometimes it's hard to keep up with what's what, but I want to make sure, I thought it was important that we try to put as much as we can of it in one place. And then lastly, what I wanted to go over is our resource list. So there's a resource list that we have, and this resource list kind of gets compiled and then gets redone over and over again because we just have so many great partners, relationships with our community partners or education partners, and they all have tons of services and resources that they offer to our families. And so I wanted to make sure that I put that on there as well, so that in the event that you ever felt like you needed to reach out to someone and you weren't sure who to reach out, we have that available for our families. But our department is also can be like your main point of contact. So on this last slide, it actually gives you the 3 people right now that we currently have in our office. We're a little bit short staffed, but we're making it work. So Nancy, which is me, I'm the assistant coordinator for community outreach. We have Veronica Alcantar, who is our TOSA for community schools. And TOSA, what that is, it's an acronym and it stands for Teacher on Special Assignment. And then we have Rosa Mendoza, who is our volunteer 2 specialist. But before I wrap it up, I think Susan might have a question.
Yeah, I just wanted to check when I used to go all the time to that Canvas page that you posted the link for in order to look at the archived information for past workshops. And when I go there now, I have to, it wants me to sign in and so if you're not a parent and don't have a sign in for Canvas, is it possible still to see the archived workshop information?
It should be, because my credentials are saved. I don't know what it looks like, but I appreciate you bringing that to my attention. And what I will do afterwards is double check that anybody can log in, regardless of whether they have credentials.
Okay, thanks.
I know that we copied it directly from the previous one since we updated it a little bit, but I'll double check. Does anyone have any questions before we say goodnight? Well, thank you to all of our parents and families who are here. I apologize for the mix-up that we had earlier in the evening, but I was able to connect with a couple of those parents and they actually ended up joining us here. Thank you to Ms. Diaz for taking the time to come and speak with our families about your role and just what to expect in high school. And then Susan, thank you so much for giving our families some of your information on your organization. I think somebody, if you don't follow Penn, I recommend that you go on there. They send weekly newsletters, and I do love their Parent Ambassador program. I'm going to be a mom for an incoming kindergartner, so I will definitely be joining them. And it makes me really excited to start my journey as well. So thank you, everyone. Have a great evening. Have a wonderful weekend and a great spring break with your families. And we will see you when we all return to school in about a week and a half. Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you,
everyone.
everybody.